Welcome to Bitesize Piano. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to play the piano chords part to Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. So this is back when they were like a little bit more funky, a little bit more jazzy. So there's only 3 chords. Basically there's only 3 chords we need for this whole song, and I'll teach you like the breakdown section as well. Because it's the same 3 chords, and those 3 chords vary ever so slightly. So I'm not going to be overly specific about every single time it's played, but I'll just give you the general idea of what type of chords are being played, and you can have a play around with them yourself. So this is a typical 2-5-1 jazz chord progression. So this one's in the key of C, so it's all of the white keys. So the 2-5-1 is, say, taking the second chord, the 7th of the second chord, which is a D minor 7, and then it takes the 5th. So I'm just going to play all of these in root position. So that makes a G dominant 7, G7, and then a C major 7. That's D F A C, 1, 2, the G7 for 2, 1, 2, and then the C major 7 for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're basically the chords. I'm going to show you different ways you can play them, different notes and like variations on those chords. So sometimes use different extensions, like adding 9ths and 13ths in there instead of them just all being 7ths. I've done a whole separate tutorial on upper extension jazz chords, so I've linked that down below because that will complement this very nicely if you go and watch that after this one. The D minor 7 chord is D F A C. So basically we're taking this shape and sticking it on with your thumb on D, G, B, D, F, locking it in place and moving it down to C, C, E, G, B. But so there's not loads of movement, we can use inversions. Obviously the left hand will just be playing D, G and C throughout, that's it. So you can just keep your hand in this position and that's all your left hand can play. Whereas the intro, if we be a little bit more specific, and then it's not the same every time they play it live either. This is a variation, so this is a D minor 9. So we have the D in the left hand, and we have the F, A, C, so like here, but the D is there. There's a top note of an E, and this occasionally, instead of playing a D minor 7, it plays a D minor 9. And they kind of switch between the two, and it's inconsistent. But if you wanted to just add a bit more variation in there and mix it up a little bit with it being the same 2-5-1 chord progression. So the next chord is a G13, just because the E is still sticking out like on top, being quite prominent on top. So this would be the 13th note of a G major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's why it's called a 13. So again, watch the video on upper extensions, it's all properly explained and demonstrated there. And then it's, you can place the C major 7. Sometimes I'm hearing the 9th, so that means you're adding a D in there. So you can play E, G, B, D. So again, as well as it being D minor 7, G7, C major 7, sometimes there's a D minor 9 in there, a G13-ish chord in there, and a C major 9 in there. And you could vary it if you want to, so you could play that first and then come and play the D minor 7, G7, and then C major 7. So the D minor 7, so your hand's not moving up and down loads. You could play an inversion. You could play an inversion of G7. Play it like this, so you got G and then D, F, G, B. Instead of going all the way up there and then coming all the way back down again. So using inversions, so you're just changing a couple of notes at this time. So they're the chords basically. The chords keep changing the way they're in the inversions that they're using. You know, sometimes it'll play like slightly lower down here as well. So we have like the C major 7 chord is sometimes played there. So for E's sake, I'll just do the same thing. each time. So I'll probably do like the D minor 9, the G13, and the C major 9, and then the D minor 7, the G7, and then the C major 7, and I'll probably alternate those two, so there's just that enough variation there, so there's not so repetitive. There are some little in-between notes as well in there, so it's just like a C, E and a G is usually being broken up after the C major 9 or C major 7 chord. So we have something like G, E, C, and then something along them lines. So you can add that in if you want to. So that is repeated throughout the whole song. I'm not going to demonstrate the whole song just because it's so repetitive. So I'll just demonstrate like the verse, for example, and then maybe the chorus. Sunday morning, rain is falling. Still some comets share some skin. Clouds are shrouding us in moments unforgettable. You twist to fit the mold that I'm in. But things just get so crazy, living life gets hard to do. And I would gladly hit the road, get up and go if I knew that someday it would lead me back to you. That someday it would lead me back to you. That may be all. Okay, and then we're into the chorus. So again, that's just an example. If you want to make it more funky in terms of the rhythm, you could break up some of the notes. So you could go like play the left hand note, whichever note is on your thumb, followed by the rest of the chords. So like that, and that gives you the right sort of feel. And you don't have to do that every time. Play around a little bit with the rhythm. Obviously it comes in off beat. With the chorus as well, you can have some depth and play like octaves or some lower notes. That may be all I need. In darkness she is all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Driving slow on Sunday morning, but I don't ever want to leave. The start of the next verse, if you want to be really accurate, is slightly different. It just have before it then goes into the chord, the same chord progression. So that's just C and E, and that moves down a semitone to B and D sharp, and then back to C, E, and then into the D minor 7, or however way you want to play it, D minor 9. So I'm going to teach you this breakdown now then. So at the end of the second chorus, rest your bones with me, driving slow on Sunday morning, and I don't ever want to leave. Then it's into that bit. So we miss out the C major 7 chord at the end of that chorus there, because it goes straight into this breakdown. So I'll just teach you that now. So the notes are all on the screen. So your hands, if you can, are going to play in unison. You can play whichever octave you want, or 2 octaves apart. So I'll just teach you it both here so it's clearly in shot. So we have C, E flat, and then E, B, B flat, A. So far we have and then we have B, C, G, B, So I'll join in what we've done so far. And then I'll add on the next little bit, F, G, and then like we have this little G, A, C, A, like just before it repeats again, G, A, C, A, and then you do it again. F, G, and then it stops there. So I'll just do all that again from the start of the breakdown bit. So driving slow on Sunday morning, I don't ever wanna leave. And then I've just chosen here to play like a C chord. Doesn't matter which way you. So you could play C in the left hand, E, G, C in the right hand, and then you're just going to change the C's to C sharps. Just a bit of like a suspense chord. Back into. Sunday morning rain is falling and I'm calling out to you. Then it's into this last verse, and then it literally is just to the end, the same chord progression again. Again, whether you want to add the D minor 9, G13, C major 9 variation, or if you want to just stick with D minor 7, G7, or the C major 7. And then it just fades out to the end. So that's the end of this video. If you would like to leave a request, leave them in the comments section below of this video. I've also left some videos here that I think you might like, so go and check those out as well. I also have a course. Visit bitesizepianocourse.co.uk and you can enroll and start learning how to read music. I'll see you in the next video.